Hey everyone, it's Damnation. Here's another video. I don't know, I got an update video, now this video. So, yeah, if you're wondering, I don't know what that says. Yeah, I got this in Japan. It's covering up some wristband for personal stuff, so I can't show it. So, yeah, I got this in Japan when I was in Japan. I don't remember what it says. I lost the thing for the packaging for it. I don't know if it's upside down. It's one of the ways. But anyways, so yeah. So it's just covering up. I couldn't find like a wristband thing to cover that up, so I tied my bandana on. But anyway, so today I'm going to talk about the new Black Templar stuff that just came out. So the Black Templar haven't had a codex since 2004, 2005. 5th edition. This edition. Right here. 2004. And of course, the good actual real codex of the Black Templars. This has a lot of history in it. What year was this one? 05. 05. So this is 5th edition. Actually, it was end of 4th, beginning of 5th. That's what this was. So, end of 4th edition, beginning of 5th edition. This was released. So 4th edition ended. This came out. So this was kind of a 4th edition, 5th edition book. Yeah, but this is one of the best. This is an actual codex. The codex. Doesn't have any primaris marine crap in it. This is a Space Marine codex. I wish they would have came out with something like this instead of what they came out with. But yeah, so the new stuff came out. As I said in a few videos, I do have Black Templar Army. I just need to paint it. All right, and I'm missing a few missing scout squads to add as neophytes to these squads. So there's that. But so I seen all the new stuff. I don't have any pictures because I'm using my phone. I should probably remedy that so I can, boost their whatever screen and I can pull up the images and stuff like that. But the way Games Workshop is with their IP, I don't want to, I don't want to trigger that or anything like that. Well, I mean, I should just fuck them. They're screwing everybody over at this point in time. So anyways, I seen the primaris stuff, and I was actually pretty let down and disappointed because from my understanding with lore wise, is basically like they didn't exist until, lore wise they were created 10,000 years ago by Gilliam and Grilliman. I don't know. I can't fucking stand him. The Ultramarine heretic. He's a heretic because he created the Codex Astartes. He forced it on all his brother chapters and all this stuff. So he's a heretic. He forced it at gunpoint. Like, if you don't agree to this, you're a heretic. Even though he's the heretic for creating it to control. Yeah. I think he'd be more of a Slaanesh kind of. Or no, maybe not Slaanesh. What's the other one? Tzich. He'd be Tzich. He'd fall under Tzich's corruption, because that's who he would be. But he created him apparently with Call, whatever, a tech priest. And 10,000 years ago, he gave him all the gene seed, fix him. And then 10,000 years later, as we know, the 14th Black Crusade. I'm not calling it the 13th because the 13th Crusade, if anybody remembers, back in 5th edition, we kicked the Chaos's ass and beat them back in the 13th Black Crusade. We kicked the Badon's ass. So we sent them back to the Eye of Terror. That was the 13th Black Crusade. This was the 14th Black Crusade. I don't care what GW has to say about it. This was the 14th. So he came back, crashed his Blackstone Fort or Black Sun Fortress, whatever the fuck it is, into Cadia. Guard never broke before the planet broke before the guard did. Remember that. So yeah, and then all hell broke loose with chaos and everything. And then Grilliman showed up and said, "And here's Primaris Marines. These are Ultramarines, but you can paint whatever color armor you want on them." So everybody got them, and they were given to them, but they were given to them at gunpoint. Basically, with the Black Templars, is like, if you don't take them, we're going to kill off your chapter by the Custodies. The Custodies came, like, hey, you take these Primaris Marines, or else what? And we'll kill your chapter off. Like, okay. That's how Primaris came to be with the Black Templars. It's a heretical thing forced by Grilliman, who is also a heretic for creating them in the first place. So, yeah, Primaris Marines are heretical creations. They shouldn't exist in the 40 world 40K, you know, in the 40K world, they shouldn't exist because they're a heretical creation and stuff like that. Anyways, I mean, they're nice models. You know, the Black Templar stuff, it's nice models, don't get me wrong. All right, they're all monoposed Primaris Marines from the basic sets of all Primaris Marines. They basically don't have, you know, like Hell Space Marines, you got the legs, you got the torso, you got the arms, and you can do whatever you want with them. They're just monoposed, like, you know, that kind of stuff. It's really friggin' annoying. I don't like it. I definitely don't like the Emperor's Champion, because if how the world works, the Black Templars work is well, for one, they wouldn't have made armor for him, you know, because the armor is, you know, 10,000 years old from the first, you know, from the, you know, that time period when, oh God, I can't remember, the 30K universe, you know, where basically it was a giant civil war, and, you know, the black armor, the sword and stuff like that, they didn't really make a whole lot of them or whatever. So Primaris Emperor's Champion would never exist because the sword and the armor wouldn't fit him anyways. So, you know, we're going with that. So the Emperor's Champion would never exist as a Primaris Marine. So that's my first complaint, because, you know, if you're going to give us an Emperor's Champion, give us another Space Marine Emperor's Champion, because the 5th edition one, I mean, the one with the, you know, holding a sword up high, you know, we need a new Space Marine Emperor's Champion. That and the tabard is like under his chest plate. It's like, you know, all real. I mean, I guess it's to defend, to, you know, definiate or whatever it's called, where, you know, this is Primaris, this is actual Black Templars, you know, tabards over their thing, that's Black Templars, this is Primaris, theirs is under their tabards, all looking weird. But the pose, it's like every other Primaris pose. That same generic standing on a rock holding a sword up in the air. It's like, come on, G-Dub. You're supposed to be one of the best miniature makers ever, and you gave them a mono pose that shares the same pose with every Primaris Marine out there, which pretty much says everything, right? They're generic. They're basically Ultramarines in black armor with all the fancy Templar. And same with all the squads and stuff like that too. With the martial the martial figure, sword brother figure, they're all, you know, it's like they're nice, but it's just gross. It's just, you know, people are all excited and stuff like, oh yeah, we got Black Templar stuff, which is true. I mean, we're getting a codex with rules and stuff for our chapter, but, you know, with the Primaris Marines, I wish they would have just left them out. I mean, yeah, Primaris Marines are what they are, all right? I mean, they're only good for tournament play anyways, right? If you play with them in a regular game and stuff like that with 2,000 points, you don't need them. I mean, you can use, because the updated rules for regular Space Marines, I think they're like 2 wounds now and, you know, 2 damage and stuff like that. I don't know. So they're basically on par. Basically, regular Space Marines are what the Primaris are what the Space Marines should have, but they upped the stats for Space Marines to mimic, or where they should be with Primaris Marines. Yeah, GW really, like, screwed everything up. But I'm glad they upped the stuff for regular Space Marines because they make them actually playable now. But, you know, like, I was thinking about it, looking at the miniatures and stuff like that, and the neophyte miniatures, and it's like, I don't want to play Primaris army. I'll play a Space Marine army. That's why I got into 40k, is to play Black Templars. These don't scream Black Templars to me. They scream Ultramarines in armor with Black Templar iconography. You know, it's like, they call them Crusade Squads, but if you look at the actual box, Crusade Squads are a sword. I mean, let's see, can you look right here, actually. Sure, okay. Crusade Squad, and you gotta arm them with bolters and stuff like that. But if you look at it, it's a mixed assortment of weapons. It's chain swords and bolt pistol, and yeah, neophyte with a chain sword and bolt pistol. But you know, and then you got bolters, and you got a heavy flamer, and you got a weird heavy flamer for the primaris guys, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I'm looking at this box set, and it's not a Crusade Squad. You know what I mean? None of them have like, a squad is all matching weapons, and then you have your heavy weapon, or your, you know, your flamer and stuff like that. You know, you don't have a bolt gun, because it complicates things when you're doing your shooting, right? Like, oh, this is a bolt pistol, this is a bolter. You know what I mean? It adds dice that don't need to add, and a bolt pistol has shorter distance to the Primaris bolter rifle, where, you know what I mean? So it's like, it complicated everything. It's like, why not just make them all have chain swords and bolters, have all the neophytes chain sword and bolters, and be done with? Or have your squads just bolters. All the Primaris have bolters, you know, all the neophytes have bolters, and then have your heavy weapon. But they didn't do that. They made it mixed weapons. It's like, no, it doesn't help with combat. It just complicates things. I mean, I'm pretty sure that the sprues and stuff like that all have, like, you know, where you can just do all chain swords and bolters, or, you know what I mean? But it's just, and then of course you get, you know, your Primaris dreadnought thing, and, you know, your 3 Primaris, they're not characters, they're units, HQ units. But I don't know, they just look gross. They don't look good. I mean, they don't have that Templar feel to them, that Black Templar feel. I mean, sorry, I'm going to keep going back. Look at this, right? Look at Helbert and Grimaldus, and that's not Grimaldus. That's a Terminator chapter. I mean, look at that. Like, I mean, this is the, look at that. That screen is Black Templar, right? You got Grimaldus down there, you got Helbert up there, you got an Emperor's Champion in there somewhere. Doesn't that scream Black Templar? Yeah, I don't know where the Emperor's Champion is. Yeah, he's not in there. I don't think they created the Emperor's Champion for this yet. I think we were still on this one. I think we were still running the 3rd edition, special edition Black Emperor's Champion, where he's holding his sword out in front of him like that. So I don't. Yeah, he's not. Anyways. But I'm looking at these as a diehard Black Templar fan. Like I said, I didn't play Black Templars in 6th, 7th, and 8th edition. I played Dark Angels. I know, right? But I liked the Deathwing, and stuff like that, and some of the options that at the time Dark Angels offered. So, but when so I haven't been. I mean, I sold my Dark Angel army a while ago, back when I heard that the Black Templars are starting to get love again, and I sold them, and I was working on my Black Templar army. But yeah, it's just like, I don't want to buy those miniatures. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't want to buy them. They're not. As a Black Templar player, I want my Black Templars. They don't look like Black Templars. They don't feel like Black Templars. They, you know what I mean? It's just, they're just bland. You know what I mean? I mean, like, Primaris Marines in general are just straight generic. And I know Space Marines are all generic. If you know, the models themselves are all generic and stuff like that too. But like, at least they had character. You know what I mean? They weren't snapped together, and that's the pose you got. You know what I mean? They weren't one pose guys. You could, you know, they came with the chest where you put, you know, the two chests together and you put them on the legs. I mean, yeah, they had the same legs, but you can move the hip, and you know, you can make them do, you know, you can customize them, and you can, you know, you could make them look cool and make them all stand all like really cool, and you know, cut the arm if you're good with green putty, and you know, fill that in and raise their arm. You do that stuff with them, but these are going to be that same snap together. You know, you got your arm here, you got your chest here, you got your other arm here. You don't have your head because your head will go on, and then, you know, you have your torso already connected to your body. It's, you know, I don't like that. That's another reason why I don't like the Primaris Marines, is because they don't have character to them. They don't have feel. You know, you don't spend your time putting an army together like in here, you know, with these guys, with the Black Templars, with Space Marines. I mean, I didn't put them together, my friend did from Art to Cord, but you know, I built Space Marines in the past. You know what I mean? I built my Black Templars. You know, you just sitting there. You know, it's just not the same as taking that torso, gluing that torso together, fitting it so you want them the pose you have. It's not the same where it's like, put two together. Hey, look, your right leg and left leg is here. Your arm, one arm is here. Your other arm is, you connect that with your head, and you know what I mean? It's completely different. They just don't have that. I mean, it's cheaper to do it that way. I get it, because GW is all about cutting costs and screwing creators over. You know, that's another story. But I'm looking at these this Primaris Marines, and I just don't have the desire to buy them. I have to buy the Codex, because in order for me to play the Black Templars, I have to have that. But if I open up the Codex book and it's just Primaris stuff in there, then what's the point? Because I know, like, if you look at the Black Templars as a whole, we're like 6,000. The Black Templars are like almost 10,000 deep, right? They're almost the Legion size. You know, I know at the Fall of Cadia, the planet broke before the Guard did. You know, the Black Templars, they got help from a friggin' Eldar. It's like, there's no way. You know, I look back at when they released that, I was like, no, they would have turned around, shot the Xenos, the freaking Eldar guy that was trying to help them, and they would have left on the planet on their own, because they wouldn't have stayed on the planet when it was being destroyed. They would have left, but they would have killed the freaking Eldar guy. You know what I mean? And they would have never helped freaking an Eldar, or go with an Eldar to go, you know, help, you know, raise Gurliman from his nap time. You know what I mean? They would have never went with any friggin', even not at the request of an Inquisitor. They would have never went. They would have shot the Inquisitor and the Eldar. That's the Black Templars, right? They would have not. They don't accept Xenos help. They kill Xenos. That's their job. So it's like, I don't know. But, you know, when it came to, like, giving the Black Templars getting Primaris, they got them at gunpoint, basically, by the Custodian. Custodian, you're locked up. Hey, you guys got to take these guys, the Primaris Marines. Why? Because I said so. If you don't take them, well, you know, they're creations from whatever. Like, well, why? Well, if you don't take them, we'll destroy your chapter and whatever. However that works. So the Black Templars would have never taken them anyways. And like, if they did take them, they wouldn't have added them to their ranks. They wouldn't change their gene seed, because, you know, that's how Black Templars are. They won't, deviate from the gene seed, their gene seed. Like I said, they're 10,000, almost 10,000 strong. They don't need primaris Marines. All right, they don't need to change any of their people. So what I think it would have they done, they would have taken the primaris Marines, like, okay, we'll take them, we'll leave them over here in Terra area, and while we go do actual Black Templar stuff. All right, you primaris Marines stay here, you hold this area down, and we're not going to use you guys. Primaris Marines should not exist in any crusade outside of Terra area. And honestly, like I said, they wouldn't change any more Space Marines into primaris Marines. That's heretical. And Black Templars aren't heretics. They wouldn't do something heretical like that by messing with their gene seed and stuff like that. So, by that logic, and primaris Marines wouldn't exist in the Black Templar army, nor would they have neophytes and all this stuff. And if it's just, I don't know. But yeah, it's looking at these models and thinking is like, I just want to buy the Codex. That's all I want. Maybe the dice, but I can get cheaper dice than the Games Workshop ones. There are sites where you can get, I'm sure you can get cheaper Black Templar dice out there rather than buying Games Workshop's $60 dice pack for like 10. So am I going to buy it? No. I don't want primaris Marines tainting my actual army. And I just hope that they don't make the only Emperor's Champion a primaris Marine, or they take the characters like Grimaldus and Helbrick and turn them into primaris. I hope they don't do that. I hope they leave it. I hope they have stats for Space Marine Emperor's Champion in there, and I hope they don't, you know what I mean? Because if they just have Emperor's Champion primaris, what the hell's the point of me playing an Emperor's Champion? You know what I mean? Because there is no primaris Emperor's Champion. The primaris Marines can't have an Emperor's Champion because, for one, they're supposed to be a little bit bigger than normal Space Marines, right? I think normal Space Marines are like 8 feet tall. I think they're supposed to be like 9 feet tall or something like that. So they're taller. Black Templars isn't gonna call up Mars, be like, hey, can you produce us black armor and a black sword for our primaris guys? They're not gonna do that because it's an ancient armor from 10,000 years ago. You know what I mean? They're not gonna sit there and like special order this stuff for a primaris Marine. That's another one of my problems with the primaris Emperor's Champion is they wouldn't special order a friggin' suit of black armor or whatever and black sword. They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't give a holy artifact to a primaris Marine, somebody that they probably don't trust at all. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm not gonna buy them. I think they're stupid. I think the whole concept of this is, low of GW to do, just to force more primaris Marines onto people who never wanted them. I never wanted them. I thought they were huge. Okay, so I never wanted them. I just wanted, my Space Marines be updated to where they can actually stand a squad of 3 Terminator Hive Tyrants shooting 20 freaking times. You know what I mean? I wanted my squad to freaking survive that. Because that's happened. It pissed me off. Because GW doesn't know how to balance their freaking books out. Or balance their game out anymore. Back in 5th edition, they had forced organization. That forced everybody to play on an even field. I wish they'd bring that back. But they're not. Because they don't believe in point system. They want the stupid... And they need to get rid of command points. That's another topic. Whatever. But, yeah, I'm not going to buy them. I think they're trash. As a Black Templar player, I think they're trash. This is not a good thing for the Black Templars in the long run. This actually only hurt the chapter, seeing as they're 10,000 strong. I mean, yeah, it will add to their numbers. Or, they're almost 10,000 strong. They're like 6,000 or 7,000. Yeah, it'll add to their numbers, but in the long run, you know, we don't know how primaris will act towards the chaos taint. All right, Black Templars are some of the zealots out there, and it's really hard to taint them. But here comes primaris Marines now. You know, we already know of one chapter who basically, or one chapter and their primaris Marines get wiped out because the primaris Marines wouldn't do as they were told to kill their Space Marine brethren. So, and they were killed off in turn. So we don't know how their taintable primaris Marines are, because they don't share that same, you know what I mean? They don't share that same quality as a Space Marine does, especially a Black Templar Space Marine. You know what I mean? They're too created and thrown at them like, here, take these guys. These are from your gene seed. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, if I was playing in a tournament, if I was playing in tournaments, then yeah, I would take them, because tournament-wise, primaris Marines are, you know, a lot sturdier, I guess you'd say, and able to do some of the things that Space Marines can't. But I don't like playing in tournaments. I hate that metagaming crap. Like I said, I played against somebody who had three hive tyrants in one little squad, and they shot 30 times and re-rolled, and it's like, ugh. So yeah, I'm not gonna buy them. I think they're trash. I think GW fucked up with the Black Templars, and I hope they didn't screw up with the Codex. I hope, you know, they allow us to, you know, like in here where we were able to pick where we are allowed to pick our vow, you know, or roll to pick our, you know, roll a vow instead of picking our vow. I hope they did do something like that in the Codex. I hope they don't like add relics to our stuff, because some of the relics, you know, they'll probably be primaris Marines specific or something like that. Something stupid. They, you know, Space Marines wouldn't be able to use it, or the Space Marine Black Templars wouldn't be able to use it, or something like that. I don't know. Now, I'm just thinking that, you know, what I want is like, I don't want command points. Well, I mean, that's another story, but, you know, command points are command points. The one thing I want to see again is designated transport for the Land Raider Crusader, so I don't have to spend a crap ton of money. So lowering the value of the Land Raider Crusader, so that the Black Templars can take them. So you can field like 6 of them, like actual Black Templars are supposed to be, because that's their transport. What else? So designated transport for the Land Raider Crusader, lower the points on the Land Raider Crusader, allow us to roll for our vow, which would be nice. Space Marine only equipment. Primaris in the back of the book instead of the front of the book, you know, where you have your whatevers, you have the like Space Marines and the primaris Marines back behind that, because I don't want to see primaris Marines. I don't want to look through, you know, my whole book trying to find the Space Marine stuff that I want, instead of, you know, looking at primaris Marines. So I want it defined. So primaris Marines and Space Marines actual defined. So Space Marines first, primaris after, defined that way. You know, I don't like how they use the 3rd edition art work for the special edition Black Templar Codex, because it's not Space Marines anymore, it's primaris Marine. Although the new Codex art looks stupid, because that guy with his really long neck and his short stubby arms, he's like, long neck, giraffe neck, and oh my god, it was freaking stupid. And he's in the freaking center too, so it throws everything off in there. It looks funny. I don't know what the hell's going on with GW and their art and their miniature sculpting these days. You know, you got Sisters of Battle that look like elves, male elves. They look like guy elves, guy Eldar. They look like male Eldar, or men in general. And, you know, got the artwork that looks like I don't know, their artwork, kind of iffy on there too. And I don't know, it's just their artwork. It's like they used to be top, right? I mean, look at this artwork for their 5th edition book. Look at it. But then you look at the Black Templar one for like it's like regular edition. It's like, ooh, what'd you guys do? I don't know. I just hope they didn't ruin the Black Templars. That's all I hope they didn't ruin it. I hope they didn't take the Space Marine aspect out of it, because the Space Marines are the main body of the Black Templars and will always be the main body. You know, they'll never change to primaris Marines, and yeah. So yeah, I don't like it. I hate it. I hate this, you know, choke on primaris Marine ideology of Games Workshop, especially with the Black Templars. It's sad. But yeah, that's my take on the Black Templar, new Templar stuff. And yeah, thanks for watching.